Good morning, students. Today we will be doing a chapter from Fun with Grammar book. What are we going to cover today? We are going to cover lesson 8, adjectives. Alright? Now what are the adjectives? If I say adjective, what does this word mean? This word means the word which describes noun. Yes? What are noun? Now we know what are noun. We are pretty clear. Yes? Name of a place, animal, thing, or a abstract noun are also there. A feeling also. Okay? So noun are the words which describe which tells us about the name of a person, place, animal, thing, and feeling. Now this is adjective. Let's make it more clear by taking examples. Suppose the first example I say a beautiful rose. A beautiful rose if I am saying. Now what this word beautiful is doing? Beautiful is defining the word rose. It's telling about rose that rose is beautiful. So now this word beautiful is adjective. Suppose I say an old man. An old man. Now this word old is only talking about man. Yes? This word is defining whether the man is young or old. Okay? Let's take one more example. Suppose I say a ruined building. If I am saying a ruined building. So now this word ruined is talking about building. That means the building has been ruined. It's not in a proper position. Yes? It is now deteriorating. It is getting destroyed. Alright? So these words, beautiful, old and ruined, what are these? These are adjectives. Now let's move to the types of adjectives. Moving to the first one, demonstrative adjective. Now what is the word we derive here? Demonstrative. From this we can guess out the word demonstration. Yes, demonstration means to show somebody so that other person can understand what you are saying. Yes, you're demonstrating, you're representing. Yes, if I use the word this bag is yours. So now this word is talking about the bag. This bag is yours. If I say that bag is yours, it is also talking about bag. That bag is yours. But what is the difference between the two? What is the difference between the two? This and that. This is used to tell about the things or living beings which are near. And that is used to tell about the living and non-living things which are far away. Near and far away. Now let's see what are the other demonstrative adjectives. Let's see. If I say this, it is for near, okay. If I say that, it is for far, alright. But these are for singular. These are for singular things. Yes? Now if I say plural, this become these. This become these. So these are used for near and that will become those. That will become those. Those is used to tell about the things which are far. But they both are talking these and those are talking about plural. More than one. They're talking about plurals. So this is the examples. These are the examples. This, that, these and those of demonstrative adjectives. Now let's move to the another one. Another one is distributive. Another one is distributive. Now, the word distributive means I'm talking about something related to distribution. I'm talking about distribution. Yes, you are distributing something. So, I'm not talking about one. It's like I'm talking about the distribution. Okay. Now, let's take example to understand what the adjective are. Okay. Each student, I'm taking an example from your book. Each student has to do the project. Has to do the project. Now here, which word, guess out, which word is the adjective? Each student. It is describing about students. Each word is the distributive pronoun. I'm sorry, distributive adjective. This each word is talking about distributive adjective. Each student has to do the project. So, this project has been distributed to all. I'm talking about each student. Yes, I'm not talking about somebody in particular. I'm talking about each student. Let's take one more example. Another example is every boy was punished. Every boy was punished. Second one is every boy was punished. Now here I am talking about all the boys of the class. I'm talking about every boy, not even a single boy is left. Yes, I'm not talking about somebody particular. I'm talking about every boy. So I'm talking in a distributive way. Yes. So every boy of the class got the punishment. So these words which are talking about, which are taking inclusive of the distributive thing, those are called as distributive adjectives. What are the other examples of this? It's either and neither. Now do you know what's the difference between either and neither? Either and neither. This word either. Yes? Either and neither. Either is always used in a positive sense, whereas neither is always used in a negative sense. Okay? When we are saying no, we use the word neither. And we are saying something, we are giving an option between two things, we are using either. Suppose guests come to our house. Suppose guests come to our house. So what do we ask that time? What do we ask? Will you take tea or coffee? Or any other two options. This is the way we ask. Will you take tea or coffee? Okay. Now, what is the other way we can say? Either you can take tea or coffee. You don't have to repeat this sentence again. Either you can take tea or either you can take coffee. That is wrong. That is wrong. So we will not repeat these words. We will say either you can take tea or coffee. Now this word either and or, they go hand in hand. When I am using either, or will be there definitely. So what I am talking, when I am making use of either, or will definitely be there. Either and or are correlative. Yes? Either is incomplete without or. Let's take an example of neither. If I am asking a guest, will you take tea or coffee? Now the guest doesn't want to take anything. Now guest will say, neither will I take tea nor coffee. nor coffee. So I'm not repeating these words. Am I saying neither will I take tea, neither will I take coffee? No, that is wrong. I'll say neither will I take tea nor coffee. So here you can see neither and nor. So this, the way we write either and or, same way neither and nor are correlative words. They go hand in hand. Alright. Let's move to the other one. It's talking about interrogative adjectives. It is talking about interrogative adjectives. Remember interrogative, what do we remember from this word? Interrogation, which means questions. So whenever I say interrogative adjectives, so these adjectives will be defining, but that will be in a question form. Yes? Now, say for example I say, suppose for example I say, which place will you go? Which place will you go? Okay? So now this word which is talking about place. Which place? Yes? So this is asking question about place. Which place will you go? So it is describing about the place. Yes? So that's why this is a question word, but because it is describing about the place, this is called as adjective, interrogative adjective. Let's take one example from your book. Okay? Like, what color is her hair? What color is her hair? Yes? Now here, what do you find? I'm talking about this word what. What color? Yes? So this word what is talking about color? Yes? So this word what will become interrogative adjective. Interrogative adjective. Because it is talking about color. This is a question word, no doubt. But it is talking about color. So it's interrogative adjective. Alright? So after this, what you will find, there are certain exercises which are given to you. Alright? In exercise A, you are given a hell box. Yes? In which you will find there are certain words given there. You have to pick those words and you have to write down according to the words with the group of words that are given there. Alright? Let's take one example. Okay? If I say a dash taste. Now this is already done for you. A dash taste. If I am talking about taste, yes? Can I say bitter? Can I say bitter? Yes. Sweet, sour, bitter. Yes. So, if I am talking about taste, I can make use of this word bitter. Now, let's move to the second one. Second one is talking about a dash decision. So, a decision has to be a strong one or it cannot be a strong one. If you find the words from the above, you will find there is one word bold. A bold decision. What does bold means? Bold means strong. Bold means strong. A strong decision. Okay? Now, I am just taking one more example. A dash pond. A dash pond. Okay? Now, you understand what's the word meaning pond? Yes? Where the water gets collected in a small place. That is called pond. Yes? I am defining about pond. Now, pond could be deep or shallow. Deep means something which has lot of water. Deep means lot of water. Yes? Lot of water. But if I am saying shallow, what does the word shallow is talking about? Less water. Shallow is talking about less water. So I find this word in this box. Can you locate it? So can I say a shallow pond, a pond which is having a less water. Can I say this? So I'll write a shallow pond. Similarly, complete the other words. If you don't feel that you are stuck somewhere, you don't know the blank, there is an answer sheet, take help of that answer sheet. But take that help at the last. Try to do it on your own first. Even if you make mistakes, don't worry, you're learning. Try to do it on your own first, alright? Now let's move to exercise number B. Exercise B is saying, fill in the blanks with words opposite in meaning to the one written in italics. Okay? I'll take an example here. Now exercise B is saying we have to replace. We have to replace the words. And we have to write the opposite meaning words. Replace opposite meaning words. Now let's see what is written in first one. What it is written? Rahul is a brave boy, but his brother is. Rahul is a brave boy, but his brother is dash. Right? Now you just look into your books, you will find this brave word is in italics. Yes? It's looking different, a little bit different. So now we have to find opposite of this word. What is the opposite of brave? It's coward. Okay? So we will write, but Rahul is a brave boy, but his brother is coward. Now let's take another, second one. He was insolent, but his brother was. He was insolent, but his brother was dash. Okay, but his brother was dash. Now what do you find? Which is in italics? Insolent. What is the word? Insolent is in italics. Now what is the opposite of insolent? It is courteous. It is courteous. Alright? Similarly, what you have to do, you have to find the words which are in italics and you will write the words which are opposite to their meaning. Okay? Let's move to exercise C. What is exercise C telling you about? Exercise C is saying that as adjective can replace many words in a sentence, use adjective in the box. In the box there are certain adjectives given to you and there are certain words given. Now in place of these words, you have to define those words in an adjective format. Let's say, take one example, the one which is done for you. Yes, we have to put the adjectives. We have to put adjectives in place of the words which are given. Alright? A sky which has no clouds. A sky which has no clouds. No clouds. Now if I am saying no clouds, which means the clouds are not there. So what is the word I can use? Cloudless. Cloudless. Alright? Okay now. Let's take another one. What I can say? What will be the right way of writing it? A cloudless sky. Let's complete this first. A cloudless sky. Okay? This way it will be a complete answer. I was explaining about no clouds. No clouds means cloudless and this is the complete answer. Okay now, moving to second. The syrup which has the color of gold. The syrup which has the color of gold. Yes? Now if I say color of gold, I'm using this color of gold. In this place, can I say golden? Yes. Can I say golden? Okay. The golden syrup. I'm talking about syrup. Okay. The golden syrup. So, these are the way you can write the answer. The first answer is this and the second answer is this. Similarly, complete the other answers. Now, what you have to do, once you have done it on your own, check it with the answer sheet. If the answers you find there is some mistake, make the changes and write the correct answers. I believe students, now you are clear about the adjectives. Still, if you have queries, you can ask me in your online class. Okay? So just stay safe, stay at home and keep healthy.